All right, welcome back. DB or NFK, which is this guy, gets to operate first. And so first thing we do is we purchase resources from the supply chain. We produce one or more goods. We trigger the manager bonus if employed. Then we run the next factory, but only if we produced. So you sort of do it one factory at a time from left to right. So what we're gonna do is we need to purchase 2 black cubes. And so we got to do some manipulations here, like I was explaining. The cubes are very similar in color. It's a criticism of the game. It's legit. Okay, this is the only black cube you see, even if it looks like these ones are black. Okay, so we're gonna buy this one for 20 bucks. Okay, and then we're gonna buy these 2 for $10. And then these 2 are gonna get traded here in Haymarket Square. It says 2 similar cubes for any 1 cube. So I'm going to put in 2 brown cubes to get 1 black cube. So that is a total of $40 to get both of these cubes. Now the cubes that you purchase, if let's say you don't use a cube, you get to hold them forever. They never go away or go bad or anything like that. But obviously when you're producing with them, they get consumed. So we're putting those 2 cubes there. It's $40. So I'm gonna take $50 from the company and get $10 back. Okay, so now we're gonna produce. And what we produce is 2 goods right here. If we had this manager, we would have produced a resource of any kind we get to pick, and also generated an appeal. But we don't have that manager, so we're gonna get 2 goods. And the goods are the white cylinders, these. So we're gonna put those 2 goods on, so technically you put them on your company. You know, it's just part of the assets of your company. You can hold on to the goods actually for the rest of the game. They never go bad either. And then what you're supposed to do next is now run the next factory, right? So you buy your resources and then you run that. We don't have employees. We can't run that factory. This is all we're going to have. So the next thing in the list is, after we've run all of our factories and done all of our production, is we get to sell our goods. So we have 2 goods to sell, and then we calculate our run and we're going to pay our dividends. And remember, they're going to be $50 each according to this. You can see that $50 there. So we're gonna sell 2 goods at $50 each. And these goods, by the way, are the sewing machines. So we have to sell into the correct area. So the sewing machines here, you go from right to left, and we're gonna sell this good there and this good there. Now this tile is complete. So remember I said these were $50 each, so that's $100. But because I completed this tile, I get an extra $50, which is written right here at the top. So I made $150 in revenue. Okay, there's 10 shares, so you divide by 10, and that's $15 each. So, I have 3 shares, right? Because I own the director's share or the president's share. So at 3 shares each at $15, I'm gonna get $45, or the green player will. So 25, 35, 45, and I knocked over all the tokens. So $45 goes to the player, okay? Now, the rest of the money, of the 150, that's 105 that's left, that all goes to the company. Now, why does it go to the company? Because the company still owns all the shares. So if the players would have owned those shares, the players would have gotten the money, but the company actually gets $105 because it still has all these shares, and so it pays itself, okay? The money always gets paid, no matter what. Oh, I'm sorry. You could choose to withhold, and if you withhold, the company would keep all the money and not pay anybody. But if you do that, there's penalties. And the penalty would be on the stock board. You would actually go backwards on the stock track, and it sort of tells you here how that works. So if you pay out, you get to go up. There's a way to go up twice. If you withhold, you go backwards. For every share that you sell to the bank, it goes backwards, etc. Okay? So we paid 150 bucks. The share itself is worth 50 bucks. So that is 3 times what the share is worth. And so that's really good. We're going to get what's called a triple stock bump. So here you can see if you are at $50 and you made, right. So it's got the dash here, and that's really cool that they have this guide to remind you of that. You have to be over $60 to get a triple bump. But you can see here, if your share is worth $60 and you made $120, you get a double bump. If you made $180, you get a triple bump. It's just triple the number. So you can do that math in your head. The one nice thing about this is that it reminded me that I'm not at $60 yet, so the best I could do is a double bump. But that is exactly what happened. So the green share of NK Fairbank gets a double bump to $60. Okay. And now it says we get to shift the supply train refuel resources. If any of those resources up there were empty, those boxes, it would have shifted. But that's not the case. And I don't think the blue resource gets trashed. I think that's at the end of the round that we do that. Let me check. Because you can see there's this little trash symbol, right? I think that's end of round. It doesn't say it on a player aid, which is a little poor. I just don't remember the timing. End of company's turn. If the $10 space is empty, shift all resources to the 20. If at any time you draw okay, yeah. So this symbol here is at the end of, during cleanup. Anything that's in this $10 space doesn't get trashed. It goes to Haymarket Square, which is that, trading area, and then everything shifts down. But yeah, nothing, things only shift here if any of those boxes were empty, and they're not. Okay, so we move to the next company, which is CJ. That's this one. So CJ needs a black and a pink in order to run. So we got to figure out how are they going to get a black and a pink. So if you look at the resources here, there are 2 blue, one at 20 and one at 10, so that's $30. So for $30, we can buy 2 blue and trade those in for the last black here, okay? So I'm gonna take that black and put it there. Then we need a pink, and there's a pink here for $30, which is expensive, but we're gonna do it. $30, $50, $60, and the 2 blue go into Haymarket Square because we traded them in like that. The pink goes here, and I said that was $60, right? So that's almost everything he has. 20, 50, 60, the company's gonna pay. And I'm zoomed in a bit too much for that. I do think I might switch to chips. Okay, so now we're gonna operate or run the factory. So we're gonna produce 2 goods. It's the shoes, and they're gonna sell for $60 each. And I'm gonna speed this up, and we're just gonna take our 2 goods and put them out here. On the shoes, which is perfect, 60, 120, plus 50 more is 170. So that's $17 a share. And give me a second, I thought I had... I have a calculator, but it's dead. You punk. How could a solar calculator be dead? And it is. Okay, well, all right, well, I will, it's not that bad, but, okay, $17 a share. This was for oh crap, I did the wrong company. I did this company, but the next company that's supposed to go is Cracker Jack. See the CJ? Cracker Jack goes first. But we'll go ahead and finish his turn because we're all selling in different markets, so the turn order doesn't matter yet. But just very important, I went way out of turn order here. And if there was two companies competing for the same goods, Cracker Jack would have been able to sell here first. But that's not the case. So $17 a share is our situation. And obviously that's $170 total. So Doggett, Bassett, and Hills is going to pay out. And you can see here we're at the 50, so we definitely exceeded double, so it's going to do a double bump because it wasn't over the $60 barrier. So that'll double bump, $17 a share. DBH is owned 30% by this guy and 10% by him. So 17, 34, 44, 51, right? So 51 for the player. And so the player now has an extra $51. And then 17 for the other player. And now the part that I was dreading. So that's 40% of the shares. So that means we got 6 times 17 for, so 6 times 10 is 60, 6 times 7 is 42. So that's $102. $102 for the company. When you're recording like this, and I'm just going to say this for folks, there is so much stress to not make stupid mistakes like this with your math. And I probably just made a mistake and not even realizing it, but there's so much stress. I mean, I just like having the calculator so I can make sure I got it right. Yeah, and I'm thinking of like 100 things while I'm recording. It's definitely something I don't want to deal with. CJ would go first, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and do them now, which is this company here. And they need the brown. Now, here's what's interesting. The turn order does matter in this situation because he would have gotten to buy the resources first instead of the other player, okay? Now, the other player, as you know, bought one from here, here, and here. CJ only needs a brown, which is here. So CJ would have bought this one and nothing would have shifted on his turn. But then after DB and H took their turn, we're going to have 2 blank. These don't become blank until after the DBH takes their turn. Again, apologies for the wrong order there, but Cracker Jack would not have caused the shift. And that's why I'm not showing you what happens there yet, because that doesn't happen until after his turn, which wasn't supposed to happen until after this one. Okay. See, making mistakes is awful. So this one is interesting. We're going to generate 2 goods. We get to generate 1 fame or appeal, and then it's going to be $30 each. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, this is the green. Now here's the problem with this company is we're only generating 2 goods and we needed 3. And you can see I didn't fill the whole thing up, so it's just going to stay there like that. But I do generate 1 appeal, so this is going to move up like that. All right. So it's going to be $60 is the payout. We're not going to get any bonus beyond that. And you can see here that the share value was $35 a share. So we're only going to bump once. That's it. Because $60 is not double 35. So $60 is $6 a share. And here he owns 50%. So 6 times 5, he's getting 30 bucks to the player, and then 30 bucks to the company. Okay? All right, and now let's pretend that he now took his turn and we did everything we just did. And then what's going to happen? We have these empty boxes here. So what's going to happen is this stuff's going to shift all the way down like this. A lot of blue cubes. And then we're going to draw cubes for these. So it's 3 each. And 3 more. There. Okay, so that's what I drew. All right, so now the last company, Oscar Mayer Wiener. Now, they don't need to take from the resources up there. They can produce their own resources here for $10. So he's going to pay the $10 here, and it's to the bank. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And he's going to produce 2 cubes on his own. And I honestly don't know where he takes them from. Are they just imaginary? Does he... Oh, give me a second. Oh, Haymarket Square. Yeah, recycling. So you get them from Haymarket Square, which is here. So you can see we get the pink cube there, and he actually gets to keep this pink cube for later. He doesn't have to spend it yet. So we're going to just operate this. We only get, we make 3 cubes at $50 each, which is still pretty good. But that's what we're going to do, okay? So 3 cubes, $50 each, and this is for the pigs. And this is going to be an interesting one. So we're going to sell 1 here for 50, and then that's going to fill up, and then 2 here. So this is $150. Then we get a bonus of 50 because we filled up this tile. So it's $20 a share. That's the amazeballs. And then Oscar Mayer is going to bump twice because we're below $60. So we don't get to go up 3 times. But at $20 a share, he owns 40%. So that's 80 bucks. 25, 50, 75, 80. $80 for the player. And then of course the rest, what is that, 6 shares? And I said it was 20. It's 120 bucks. Holy buckets. 120 bucks. For the company. So company made some good bling there. Okay. So now we're at the end, and one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to take all the resources that were consumed. So I'm going to do that right now from all the companies. And I need to look up where, I think they go back in the bag. So let me check that real quick. So after production, compared to like a GMT rulebook, this rulebook is amazing. Compared to a Compass Games rulebook, this book is amazing and has no serious or critical printing errors in it. And so, yeah, you can tell I'm bitter about the war games and how their quality is, but let's see. Compared to an 18xx rulebook, this thing is Jesus level. Some of those 18xx rulebooks are awful. Okay, production. So you place the required resources from your treasury into Haymarket Square on the game board. Then you will take the number of goods token. Okay, it goes to Haymarket Square, which is pretty cool. So all those resources we just purchased go there. Okay, fair enough. And now we're at the end of the round, or operating rounds. Everybody's operated. So what happens now is these two cubes go to Haymarket Square, and then everything shifts down again. And we grab 3 more from the bag. Now, what happens if the bag is empty? If the bag is empty, then everything from Haymarket Square goes into the bag. And then you fill up whatever squares you need to fill up, and then you reset Haymarket Square to 2 of each resource, okay? So Haymarket Square will never be empty, but you may temporarily empty it out just to reset the bag. Okay, why I remember that rule, but I didn't remember some of these other ones, I don't know. But we're good. So let's keep going. And I forgot to move this marker. So this was the worker placement phase. This was the phase we just did. And now we're on what's called cleanup. So cleanup, we refresh the demand track, which is this. So what happens is anything that's full gets removed. So it's all of these guys. So we take all of these and they're out of the game, okay? And of course these just go back in the supply. Everything here shifts over except for this guy. That guy has a special rule, and I am grateful for the rules guy on his video on this one, because he pointed out that it's actually in the beginning of the rule book that explains what happens to that, and not in the cleanup phase, which I do agree is a awful rule book decision. So he's spot on with that one. Let me see if I can find it. In fact, I'm struggling with finding it right now. Oh, come on. Oh, here we go. Very beginning of the rule book. One of the demand tiles is marked with a red X. No goods may be sold, indicating this tile will be removed from the game board during the first cleanup phase. So yeah, it gets removed as well. So don't forget that part. So no matter where he ended up, he's out. So now that we've cleaned everything off, everything shifts to the right. So you just shift everything to the right, and then you take more of these, and you'll notice that the bottom of these actually have things. That's when the depression kicks in. So I think it goes up to 1915 or whatever, but there's some kind of depression that happens. So anyways, you draw them from top to bottom, right to left. So this one would be first, and then this one would be second, and then we just come on down. And these, like I said, once this stack is empty, then there's no more to draw, and then we rely on what's underneath this. And I can tell you that there's X's in this first column, which is bad, right? Because you're no longer getting the nice $50 bonus. So, so the depression sort of hurts. And the other thing is you take your workers back. So, and I forgot one other thing, and I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the comments, but I'm going to say neener neener, because I forgot it before, or I figured it out before I uploaded all this stuff to YouTube. And there's the other one. Sorry, I'm taking so long to get my workers back here. There's the blue one. Green's got his too. Okay, one thing I forgot to resolve. when NFK or FNK or whatever it is, when it moved to here, you get this bonus. So you get one of two choices. You can take that bonus, or you can just take 25 bucks. I'm taking the bonus. So FNK is taking, they get a free employee. So they're gonna, NK Fairbanks, so NKF. So we're gonna take the free employee and put them there, which is perfect, because that sets us up for the next round. Okay? So, and that's because the appeal went up. So you want to move that appeal up if you can. Get some nice bonuses that way. All right, that was one entire decade or phase in the game. So we're going to repeat this 4 more times until someone wins. And now we can start other companies. So if we want to have more than one company, we can. And that's where a lot of the strategy to this game comes in. And to be honest, I honestly don't know when the timing is right or wrong to do that. We don't have an awful lot of money right now. So maybe I won't be able to start another company until maybe a little bit later. There's a part of me that wants to continue to nurse the company I have and get as many shares of that before I go bonkers with another one. But that's where we're at. So the phase marker goes up. Oh, and see that there where it says 3 cubes? That's how many cubes you put into the empty buckets. So now we're going to be putting 4 cubes in to the empty buckets. So I'm going to look up one more thing there. I know I explained that right. I'm just trying to make sure, is that just during cleanup or is that all the time? So let me just make sure. Technically, you don't move these where you trash this until the rightmost capital asset located in the $40 spot is discarded out of the game. Shift the capital assets to the right. Yeah, you know what? The player aid that comes with the game, boy, he was spot on about that. The cleanup phase doesn't even tell you half the steps that are in the cleanup step. Yeah, so this particular asset is removed from the game. Everything shifts down, and then this comes out. I think that's a little odd. The player aid says in the action phase that end of your turn, if necessary, shift and refill capital assets. Let me make sure that that's really true. It is true. So, so this guy never stood a chance, and he's out of the game. All right. Oh, the cube thing. That was the original reason I came into the rule book. Give me a second here. Yeah. So this phase now we're going to draw 4 cubes. Anytime we have to draw from the bag, we're going to get 4 instead of 3. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the first phase, and I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It's only at 30 minutes, and then check the time, and if I have enough time, I'm going to do another phase before I call it a night, and then just upload all the videos from there. So I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. Sorry that a few things are a little rocky, but I'm feeling quite good that we got the primary mechanics of this game going. I know people kept saying that this is a 5-hour game. Let's see, I've been recording for an hour and a half. And we're done with one phase. So if I keep this up, that would be a 5-hour game. But I honestly don't think this is a 5-hour game. But, you know, some friends are analysis paralysis central. So I can easily see, yeah, 5 hours, but I think you can get this reduced quite a bit. This doesn't seem like that bad of a game. Okay, thank you for watching. Stay awesome, and if I have time, I will see you in a few minutes.